Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Trophy Moments and a Few Firsts. And I've got a very, very special guest today that was so kind to do the foreword to my book, A Leap Year of Firsts, a few years ago. And somebody that I respect tremendously as an entrepreneur and has so many different layers. Some of them you don't know about. You may know him for his football background. He was a quarterback for the Philadelphia Eagles here in Philadelphia, among some other franchises.
Yes.
And Ron Jaworski. Can I call you Jaws?
Absolutely. President Bush calls me Jaws, so you can too, Keith.
Yeah, we were just talking off camera here about, actually, why don't we start there? Because a few days ago, last week?
About 2 weeks ago.
You interviewed
President Bush, and it was at the MD Anderson Cooper Hospital Summit at the Constitution Center, and they wanted someone to interview the president. So they asked me.
Why you?
I have no idea. I guess I'm widely acclaimed in interviewing presidents. I really don't know, Keith, but I guess my connection with Philly sports, and they just thought it'd be a good idea. Whoever was in charge of the summit, very thankful for that opportunity. And it was, when I think of my football life, I think of interviewing, Tom Brady or Bill Belichick or Archie or Peyton and Manning and all those guys that are great football in the illustrious Hall of Fame, so many different ones. So they asked me to interview the president, and it was a very cool situation. And we were waiting in the green room before we go on into the summit, and he says, "Do you mind if I call you Jaws?" Yes, sir, Mr. President. We both laughed and chuckled. I said, "This is going to be a piece of cake and have some fun." Because it's intimidating interview.
Was that your first president that you've ever?
I met presidents,
but you've never interviewed one.
Never interviewed one. So it was, I must admit, I was a bit intimidated.
Really?
It's kind of
all
unique.
The people that you've met?
Yeah, it's the president. And a man I hold in high esteem, as we all do, for his handling of 9/11 and the way the country reacted to it. So I've always had very positive thoughts about President Bush. So yeah, it was a little bit intimidating.
Well, so we won't go too deep into that. But what was the one question that you asked him that really meant something to you?
There was always a few softballs because you got to get things going. But, I asked him about Ukraine, asked him about China. Now, obviously, the issues in Israel weren't going on yet, so we didn't get any comments on that. But, they were pretty. He gave really good, strong answers. Obviously, 9/11 was a major area he wanted to speak about. So, and he was very, very upfront with everything, his feelings, the way things went, and of course, we talked about the Eagles-Cowboys game coming up, and I gave him an Eagles jersey. I said, "Can you wear this in Dallas?" He said, "No."
Yeah, I wouldn't want to wear an Eagles jersey in Dallas either. No. So tell us a little bit about all the different things that you're doing. I play on one of your golf courses, and you've got how many golf courses now?
8.
8.
Yeah. Just acquired Back Creek down outside of Wilmington, Delaware.
So what are the courses that you have? Do you remember?
Oh, yeah. And I did have a lot of concussions, so I forget a lot of things. But you start out down the Jersey Shore with Blue Heron Pines.
Great course.
Running Deer down in Pittsgrove, which hosts a U.S. Open
one of my
qualifier
favorites
next year. Yeah, thank you. Valley Brook, Ramblewood, Riverwinds. I just mentioned Back Creek, Honey Run Golf Club out in York.
I've never played Honey Run.
You got to get out there. Very, very, very user-friendly golf course. You can spray it a little bit, Keith, and you can still find it. So. And Downingtown Country Club in Downingtown, Pennsylvania. So the golf business is strong right now. Coming out of COVID, which was very, very difficult for every business. I wasn't sure if we were going to last because no one really knew. We were shut down for 6 weeks, basically losing about $1 million a week in income, and you kind of didn't know what was going on. But I'm thankful of the PPP plan by the federal government, which kind of helped me recover some of those losses. And when people came out of COVID, they wanted to be outdoors, and golf is a sport that is obviously played outdoors.
Golf got hot.
It got hot, and you see a lot more women playing, a lot more young people, more African Americans, more Asians. So people have picked up the game that most of the golfers looked like me and you, Keith. And our guys above 60 that had free time or retired, whatever, to play golf. But it just took off with the younger people, and all of a sudden, cool clothes were in. Yeah. Cool hats were in. Turn your head back. Music on the golf carts. I mean, the game changed, and for the better. It used to be the old stuff. You guys, we don't want music. Don't interrupt. I'm putting, that sort of thing. Now the game is cool, and it's been really great for business.
Are you looking for any more courses?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh yeah. Well, we have thousands of members at our clubs, and I've been looking down in Florida, and BJ, my son, who runs the company, Ron Jaworski Golf, day to day, he makes sure that everything's getting done. I kind of come around and play owner, and shake hands with everybody and sneak around the golf in as well.
And he looks at his watch. When are you leaving, Dad?
Right. Yeah, I'm very fortunate. My wife Liz, obviously, very much involved in the golf company. BJ runs the day-to-day stuff, and it's a $40 million golf company now with 8 golf courses. So there's a lot going on. They need quality people. I trust family, so that's always at the top of the list. But we love the business. We love being around people, and we'd like to expand. And
so that's one business. You got another business. It's BCA.
Yep.
Tell us about BCA.
Yeah, BCA is just you're a member of BCA, Business Clubs America, and Jolene, my daughter, handles the company, owns the company, and just does a magnificent job. And although I started the company, there was a company called Breakfast Clubs America, which I did a lot of speeches for back probably 20, 25 years ago. And I really loved the Breakfast Club idea. But it was a little more chamber-like where everyone was included. Business Clubs America is exclusive. It's leaders of corporate business, corporate America, and get the leaders and decision makers together. And I always felt like the chamber.
And it's category specific.
Yeah. So when you go to an event, there aren't 12 banks, there aren't 6 phone companies. It's your company, it's your business, and you're dealing with decision makers. And we all know in business, you got to move quick. People pass by. You got to rapid fire when you're in business. And you want to make a decision, you need to be able to call somebody. And so BCA allows you to talk to the person in charge, the decision maker. You don't have to go through a secretary, an administrator. You go right to the top if you're a BCA member. And it's worked in Philadelphia. Jolene, my daughter, has done a phenomenal job of building the company. Obviously, like most companies, that COVID hurt us a little bit, but bounced back in a nice way. And it's amazing. There's literally a waiting list for membership to get in BCA. And you've been involved pretty much since day one, so you know better than anyone how it can help grow your business when you're dealing with decision makers and basically the corporate leaders in our community.
Yeah, the tagline is build relationships before you need them. And I can tell you through COVID, that came to play in ACES.
Yeah.
There were so many relationships that I had that I never utilized.
Yeah.
I utilized, and they helped me get through.
No question.
And we helped each other get through.
That was the key.
Challenging time.
The strength and unity, making decisions together. What are you doing? The government was making decisions, and I'm not sure all of them were right. I'm not sure all of them were wrong, but we as people doing it day to day through the COVID period needed the help of each other and the advice of each other to help get through it. And the BCA concept really worked in a very, very tough time.
So I know we see you on TV as a commentator and an analyst. What else you do? You've named a couple companies. Are there any other ventures that you're currently in?
Yeah, I've got investments in a lot of things. I serve on the advisory board for M&T Bank, and it's a really kind of cool position to be around, again, the corporate leaders, decision makers, and get to know people that have other interests in maybe sports or golf. You learn about other things when you're in meetings, and our board meetings is an incredible group of people, and I love that aspect of it because, I'm a football player. I really didn't get into business till I retired in 1990. So
what was the first business you got into?
I'll go way back when I was playing quarterback for the Philadelphia Eagles. I bought a hot tub business.
I didn't know that.
Well, that's way back, Keith.
Was that in Buffalo or?
No, it was actually in Cherry Hill.
Cherry Hill.
Cherry Hill on Route 70. And what
was the name of it?
Ron Jaworski's Hot Tubs. And now in our locker room, Otho Davis at Veterans Stadium was our athletic trainer, phenomenal guy. So he got this deal from a hot tub. People had jacuzzis or whirlpools, so he got a hot tub donated and he put it in the locker room. So I met the guys from I think it was Nature Hot Tubs or one of the wooden hot tubs. And so they said, they're looking to put a franchise in South Jersey. I said, man, talk to me about it. So we ended up getting a franchise in South Jersey, and it really was my first foray. Put my toe in the water, kind of as a slogan of business. And I'm still playing quarterback for the Eagles. So you can imagine you got a quarterback and you got 100 things on your mind before you. And this goes back to family, goes back to my wife.
Did Liz get involved?
She was involved, yes, but not day to day. But she had more time to just kind of oversee the business. And I learned a lot about business, because when you put your own money into something is when you really learn, and you focus and you work hard when it's your money on the line. So that was my first foray, a hot tub business. And we sold it a few years later, and I think I made some beer money on it.
But you didn't run it out of business, and you learned.
I learned. It was a learning experience. It was absolutely a learning experience. So I was very grateful for that, because I'm a quarterback. Yes, I was trained in high school and in college, to play sports.
But yeah, I mean, you throw it off like, I was a quarterback, and you don't know anything. But to be a quarterback in the NFL, you've got to have some major leadership skills that apply to business.
No question, no question about it. In fact, what I do now, you probably will, right? I do about 25 to 30 speaking engagements around the country, motivational speeches, and I basically intertwine football with business. And it's really been my life. Obviously, football as an NFL quarterback for 17 years, 4 years at Youngstown State, and 4 years at Lackawanna High, and just outside of Buffalo, my high school. So 25 years of my life was playing the quarterback position. And I learned so much about the leadership it takes to be successful in football, carries over the same damn way, Keith, because if you're not a leader and you can't put your arms around the team, it's all there's no I in team. Yep. It's all about team. And if you build a team that trusts each other and works hard, you give yourself a really chance to have success. So I've taken the same things I've learned from Dick Vermeil, from Don Shula, from Marty Schottenheimer, from Chuck Knox, from Buddy Ryan, coaches that have won close to 1,000 games in the NFL. Think of that, 1,000 games, how hard that is to win. Those are the guys that coached me and taught me about leadership. Actually, by experiencing that as part of my getting ready to play quarterback and be a leader, I learned from those kinds of people. So I was very fortunate.
So that's another business that you have, a speaking business.
Yeah.
So you do how many speeches a year?
Probably 25 to 30 a year. Right?
So how do you learn to become a speaker?
I just talk a lot. They call me Jaws.
So you no formal training. You just became yourself.
No formal training, but I read a lot.
Yeah.
And I read a lot of leadership books.
Is that what the speeches are basically around leadership?
Around leadership, yeah, no question about it. And I read a lot of military books. I think discipline is really important, not only in running a business but in your life. I think discipline is so important. And I've read books on leadership from generals and people in the Army and the Navy and the Marines that have written books, Navy SEALs, because I think discipline, and obviously it's very important in football, but it's also important in life that you have discipline within your own fabric.
Yep. So those of you out there that didn't know this, if you're looking for a keynote speaker,
I'll give him a standing ovation.
I've heard him speak. He's unbelievable. So I'm going to get into our topic for today. There's two, which is a trophy moment. So you've probably had many trophy moments in your life. And is there one or two or three that stand out? Why do they stand out, and what did it mean to you?
Keith, there probably are 1,000.
Okay.
And to pick one singular moment probably wouldn't be fair to all the other moments. As much as we just talked about business and things I've accomplished, I think it's a long-term moment, and it's my family. And I think when you think about that moment, there isn't one. It's a great wife. It's 3 great kids. It's 7 great grandkids.
I've met Liz. I know Liz. What did she do? Or what did you do to deserve her?
Good way to put it.
She's amazing.
She's amazing. She allowed me to do my thing.
Yep.
She's an unbelievable wife. I mean, we'll be celebrating our 50th wedding anniversary next year, but we started dating in high school. I was 16, she was 15.
So who made the first move there?
And we're not sure. Oh, now wait, you know this story too. She's the cheerleader, I was the quarterback. Okay. I mean, one of those perfect relationships. And most people say, it'll never last. Well, we're going to celebrate 50 years next June.
So she's your trophy wife.
She is definitely my trophy wife. But we try to maintain some levity. We try to maintain camaraderie within our family. Like I said, I got a great grandson. I got great granddaughters. It just
travel together.
In-laws are great. Oh my God, we do a trip a year together. We have a house on the Jersey Shore, and the weekends are wild, wild. So
where'd you go last year, and where are you going coming year?
We went to Pebble Beach last year.
I remember that.
Yeah, we went to Pebble Beach, and it was 15 of us went. So I got my 6-year-old grandson, my 4-year-old grandson on the 18th hole at Pebble Beach. And I will applaud the people at Pebble Beach. we were playing golf, and they let the kids come down in the 18th hole, hitting from 100 yards out. So most people, get them kids out of here. They were very, very cordial, very nice, and let the kids hit. They don't realize what Pebble Beach is. For me, it's the holy grail. You're out there on Pebble Beach and had these 4-year-olds and 6-year-olds and 2-year-olds running around in the 18th fairway and going up to the green at Pebble Beach. Maybe in about 10 years, we realized, what a cool moment it was.
That's special.
But and we've been to Grand Canyon as a group, as a family, and I think it's important that don't ever forget your roots.
You went to Poland.
We went to Poland. We didn't take the grandkids. Just Liz and I and 2 daughters went to Poland and spent 10 days in Poland. We wanted to visit the homeland, and incredible experience. And it seemed like there was a church on every corner, and we prayed at every corner. It was, my knees were sore from kneeling every church we went to, but it was a great experience. And everyone knows how tough it was in Poland when it was under the communist regime, and they now are independent and democratic society. And it's like being in an international city when you go to Warsaw and Krakow.
Do you still have family there?
No, we tried to find out where we got close, but kind of after all our research and study, we met with a lot of people. They said, well, what happened, like in the 30s and the 40s, if another country wanted something, they just raid Poland,
right, and
move the boundaries of the territory. So we think we got close to kind of the neighborhood where a lot of our great grandparents lived and grew up, but we couldn't find it specifically.
Huh. Where are you going? Do you have any plans for a family trip coming up?
Not yet.
You're working on it.
Liz and I are going to celebrate our 50th next year. It's June next year, but we're probably going to go to Italy in April or May, so we're trying to plan that. We've always wanted to go to Italy. We've never been there. And we're not taking anybody. It's going to be Liz and I, so my wife.
I went for my 25th. It's my favorite trip, and you know that I travel a fair amount.
Oh, yes, you do.
And I went to Venice, Florence, Rome, and then a week on the Amalfi Coast.
You're going to plan my trip for me, right?
I
need
my
to call
trip
you.
that I've taken, I've given to a number of people, and I'll send you the itinerary. And it was the best 2 weeks, and the Amalfi Coast was just spectacular.
Did you gain any weight?
How can you not?
Pasta.
They know how to live. They know how to live.
I should interview you now, Keith.
I had gelato every day, and just the table wine there, and just they make eating an event.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you're spending 3 hours at the table.
Wow.
And everything's so fresh. We'll talk.
Right.
You can get me going on that topic. First, so what's a first that you've always wanted to do that you haven't done? And you've done a lot in your life.
Something that I could do. It looks like I'm on a game show right now, Keith.
Yeah,
ding, 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 ding.
All right, time's up.
It's kind of crazy because I don't have like a wish list of something that I want to do. I've been very fortunate to experience a lot of things, and most of them revolved around sports and business in my family. So there's really I've been lucky in that regard. So there's nothing that's on the front of my brain saying I got to do this.
I really want to do that.
Yeah.
Maybe Italy's one of those.
Italy is definitely one of them. So we'll give you a report when we get back next year.
So talking about that, all the things that you did, and we know that you were a Super Bowl quarterback. What was the highlight? Is that it?
No. I think playing the game, realizing how few people make it to the NFL level, and then spending 17 years playing quarterback in the NFL.
That's incredible.
I mean, the average career is 3.3. That shocks people when I tell them the average NFL career is 3.3 years. So don't get your kids ready to go into the National Football League. So 4 years in L.A. with the Rams, 10 years here in Philadelphia, 2 years in Miami, backing up Dan Marino.
10 years in Philadelphia is like 20 years. It's like dog years.
And those early years, we weren't very good, so I got beat up pretty good until we fortified the offensive line and ended up going to the Super Bowl 4 years after I got to Philadelphia. So it's a tough way to make a living. I mean, it really is. I have incredible respect for the players that play the game. But it's tough, but it's a great way to make a living. It really is. The National Football League, great leadership out of New York, and the office there
what's
has
the
grown
toughest?
the league.
Is it the physical part, or is it the moving part? Like you're always busy.
Well, you mentioned the moving part. That wasn't tough for me.
No.
And I'll give you the example. When I left the Eagles and went to Miami, I packed a duffel bag and went to training camp.
But
Liz and the kids stayed behind, and about a month later, when you make the team, now they get in the car. She does all the heavy lifting the kids up, lifting the luggage up, getting in the car, and driving down to Miami. So for me, I'm just playing football, and her commitment to the kids allowed me to play football. I never worried about that because I knew I had an unbelievable woman that was taking care of that. All the minutiae was being taken care of. And when I think of that 17 years, I think I'm very, very fortunate to have lasted. There are very few guys that get to 17 when you look at the totality of players in the NFL. And for the most part, I escaped healthy. Brain functions well right now. I can still talk and do all the things, but I got bumps and bruises. I had 4 surgeries and different things like that on my leg, my wrist. Do
you have any replacement parts on you?
I got a couple screws in screw 6 in the leg holding me together. So,
but you don't have knee replacement, no.
Knock on wood. Knock on wood. I'll do a lot of knocking, Pete.
How's it affect your golf game?
Age is now affecting my golf game. I was a 5. At one time I was a 5 handicap. I was a good player. And those drives are going about 270, 275. Now at the age of 72, they're going about 210, 215. And every once in a while, I will move up to those forward tees. I'll move up.
See, this year I moved up to the forward tees.
And it's more fun, right?
It is a lot more fun. Yeah. I got tired of hitting a 3-wood on my second shot to just about every hole.
Yeah, no, it's no fun when you're playing 6,500 yards.
I play an old man game. Yeah. I can hit it straight. I can get up and down. I never had a big drive. Yeah. So as the course got longer as you get older.
Oh, yeah.
But
technology has helped.
Yes,
the equipment
it
now.
Does.
I mean, I'm a wonk for trying all this equipment, and I do get a lot of free samples, which is good. Let me try that. I try everything.
So you're still playing back then. You haven't moved up.
I move up a few times, depending on the match I'm playing. We got a bunch of guys that are my age. We'll all play. We'll move up. I'm not going to be at a disadvantage being 50, 60 yards behind the guys. I can't make my $5 bet on the weekend. And trust me, that $5 bet is really important in golf. That.
We play for $6.
So. Right. you're heavy.
So can your son still beat? Can you beat your son?
No. There was a time, and this was probably one of the times we really had a family argument. My son BJ, who now, like I mentioned, runs the company. We were always in the golf business. He was a pretty good player. So I would never let him beat me.
Of course.
And my wife would get mad at me. I say. She was, you can't just keep beating him. And I said, no, because when he beats me, when he really beats me, he'll know he beat me. I'm not giving him to pick that up or that doesn't count or something. No, hey, I always want him to do good. I love, he's my son. I want him to do well. But I never let him beat me because I want him to have that competitive juice that, okay, when you beat me, and I'll never forget the first time he beat me. We were playing in Myrtle Beach. And we were on the 18th hole. And he needed a par on the 18th hole to beat me, and he got it, And he was like, I got your dad. And I give him the biggest hug I can give him because now you actually beat your dad. So.
Did you feel the pressure going into that?
Hell yeah. I'm competitive, and that's why my wife gets mad at me
all the
time.
It's funny you say that. I had the same conversation with my wife recently, and my son's starting to play golf, and he could never beat me. I lost to him. I mean, I beat him by 2 strokes, and I said to my wife, he choked on the last 2 holes, but he had me, and I was nervous. And it's not too far in my future where I will have that experience and he will beat me.
You'll have it. Oh, yeah. Then it'll humble you, but it'll make you feel proud that you brought him up.
I was proud that he gave me a run for my money.
Yeah. So, my son is still very, very good. He played in the Delaware golf team. He went to studied business leadership at the University of Delaware, and that's where he kind of got his formal educational background from. Delaware's got a great school, with their education there, and he did a phenomenal job in business. So he's done phenomenal. And these kids now are, I've kind of had the old hard work ethic. These kids now work hard and smarter smarter. I still use a pencil and a legal pad to write my stuff down. These kids are.
Well, running 8 golf courses has got to be very challenging.
It is very challenging because, and you hear this in a lot of business. In today's world, there's a lot of cash.
Yep.
Although everything's starting to trend towards credit and everything else, but we still deal with a lot of cash every single day, and you got to do things the right way when you have cash. You got to have people you can trust and have systems in place to make sure that every dime is accounted for every single day.
Yeah. So you mentioned your son. We mentioned your daughter Jolene. Who else is in the family?
Jessica, my daughter, works at the Pew Foundation.
The which foundation?
The Pew Foundation, which is a phenomenal philanthropic foundation raising billions of dollars for, all kinds of different charities. And she's actually in Denver this week at a Pew Foundation function. And she kind of like I have my own foundation, Jaworski's Playbook, which
Tell us about that.
We've raised over $7 million in the last 39 years for at-risk youth.
By the way, that's another business.
It's another bit. I tell you and then I see what we do with JYP. We're all our families involved with that. It's a Jaws Youth Partners playbook, and it's a Jaworski family involvement. And Jessica realized, there's needs in the world, needs in our lives, and she went to work for the Pew Foundation because they do phenomenal work and raise a lot of money worldwide. We do the Jaws Youth Playbook is pretty much local, and it's our family. We work it, and the events that we run, the golf tournaments.
That was one of my first time I ever. It was your bike event.
Yeah.
It was down Atlantic City. It was the Boys and Girls Club.
Yep,
and we put together 200 bikes that day.
Yeah.
And then the next year I went, and I wasn't there to see the kids come through. The next year I did. Mm-hmm. Wow.
Yeah, it is a wow. And I go to those, as you know.
I know you do.
I go when we build the bikes. I go when we give the bikes away because it gives me the motivation and the energy to want to ask. I don't like asking people for money, but when I see we did Kensington, and one of the worst areas you'll find, not only in Pennsylvania, but in the world.
I was there.
It's awful what these young kids have to deal with. And you walk to the building where we're giving the bikes away, and you see needles on the ground, people sleeping on the sidewalk in tent city. That shouldn't be our country. It should not be our country. So we've given away over 2,000 bikes. And these kids come in there and they need help. They need support. We give them the bike, a helmet, a lock. Pizza Hut donates food. It makes them. It's a holiday time too. It's in early December, so we're giving these kids a nice bike, and it also gives them freedom, gives them health and physical fitness because their movement and mobility is so important. So when I leave there, I'm excited for those kids, but I can't wait to start asking sponsors to help me and help the family because I'm energized by seeing what these kids and that's why it's a Jaws Youth Playbook. We want to help young people.
I was energized. I mean, just I'll never forget this one girl's face. She'd never have a bike. And think about my audience.
Yeah.
Think about your first bike when you had it. And some of us don't have to worry about that. But when you don't have the means and you're given your first bike and you get on it and it has all these little things coming out of it, and it's got a horn, and it's got a basket, and she was so thrilled. She was crying.
Yeah.
The mother was crying.
Yeah.
And she was so grateful that, you gave my kid her first bike. And I was out back trying to help her, get on it, and what an experience.
Yeah, it really is. Like I said, I personally like to be there. Our family's there for all of it, and it just gives us inspiration and motivation to want to help and raise more money, give away more bikes, and go to more places that we can go. So we love it.
We got about 2 more minutes. What do you want to tell my audience? Is there anything you want to ask them? Maybe it's something for the Jaws Youth Playbook.
Well, you can go to JYP Foundation on the internet. It lists everything that we do. People do want to support, and we always appreciate everything that we can get, and we get a lot of individual participation, a lot of corporate participation. My golf tournament every year, which this will be the 40th one coming up, is usually the big fundraiser every single year, and I've had from Tom Brady to Joe Theismann to Peyton Manning and all these guys at the golf tournament. So it gets kind of the stars of the stars that come, and it's the big fundraiser. And
so how can they participate? If you're a golfer,
we have volley. Well, you can obviously buy a player spot if you like. Although we are, fortunately, we're sold out every year, but sometimes spots do open up. And if you go to the website, that's where you can find all the information. It's, if I'm not mistaken, June 6th of 2024 this year at Riverwinds Golf Club. And Live Casino is our presenting sponsor. They've been phenomenal to deal with, and they're a very community-oriented organization. The Cordes family and the people in South Philly at the Live Casino. So they're great people to work with, and we share the same values.
And you're a spokesperson for Live?
Yes, I am. Yeah. I'm there. I go to have dinner there, then go to the Phillies games.
Are you going there tonight?
I'm not going tonight. We're heading out of town tomorrow, so I'll be out of town in a couple of days, and then get ready for the World Series.
Okay. I got tickets for the first game of the World Series.
It's a good thing. Yeah.
Please.
I'm confident.
Are you confident?
I'm confident.
You're feeling it?
It's funny. I look at this team, and it has a football team mentality.
Yes.
It really does. And football really is more of a consummate team game. But as I'm at the game, last playoff series in the home game, and I'm watching, and you see it on TV as well, all those players not sitting in the dugout, not rubbing their bats. They're all up on the railing, cheering for each other, rooting for each other. And that says a lot. That says a lot. These guys are, and hey, they've overcome deficits all along this season. So the only way you overcome the adversity is by being together. And those guys are really together. And I think the manager's done a phenomenal job of getting this team ready for these big games. This team is built. It's built for tough situations. It's a tough group of guys with a lot of really good players.
So as a leader of a franchise, you appreciate it a little bit more. You see it through different eyes than somebody that maybe didn't play the game on that level.
Oh, I don't think there's any doubt. There's so many moving parts in sports. It's not one thing. We're talking about the Phillies in the dugout. When I watch the coaching tape, and I'm along for film study before I give my comments on television or radio, the shows that I do, when I watch a game, sometimes I'll just look at the sideline because I see all 22 players on the field. I see the players on the side. I will end up watching the sideline and see where the energy is. And it's discernible. You watch some teams, all the guys sit on the bench. They're
not even paying attention.
Grab ass, and I call it, not paying attention to what's going on. Then you see some teams, they are, the minute a play is made, everyone's up and jumping and hugging each other. And that's where a coach comes in and he gets teams focused to lead. And energy is so much a part of the game. Talked about the Phillies, talked about the Eagles. The good teams have a great energy on their sideline, not always on the field.
Well, I've got to thank my guest, special guest, Ron Jaworski, for
you're
bringing great energy.
I mean, we're done. I'm just getting warmed up.
We're done. So I appreciate it. Thank you very much for coming today and taking time out of your very busy schedule.
Thanks, Keith. Keep up the great work.
Thank you.